What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Run It Up Podcast here on the Rise Network. I'm your host, Najee Adams. I got the guy with me, Justice Gregory. Our other guy could not make it. Khalil, he's on a flight to Boston. I think he's going to a Bulls Celtics game or something like that. So my guy's out here living life, so he couldn't make it, but he's here in spirit. You feel me? So, how you doing, bro?
Chilling, bro. Jason Tatum pod on the way. I don't know if everybody knew, but that's why Khalil's up there. He's got a business meeting with Tatum.
Uh,
No, you didn't know? Okay.
No, I had no clue.
Fair enough. No,
it's coming.
Right.
It's coming down the pipe. Don't worry about it. Jason Tatum interview coming soon. So yeah, this is gonna be a low key quick one. We talking about kind of NFL trade deadline stuff. A surprise of the NBA season. I want Justice. I have two things here that I want Justice to rank that I haven't told him. But it's NFL related. It's NFL related. It's not NBA related. And then we're gonna talk. Did I say Lakers already?
Yeah, you told me Lakers.
Well, I told you Lakers, but if I said it already on the pod, it deserves to be said twice because that's obviously our favorite team. So y'all already know we gotta talk them. So where do we start? I guess we can start with the trade deadline stuff. Yeah, we start with trade deadline stuff. NFL trade deadline passed. A whole bunch of trades that were like Kareem Hunt was supposed to get traded for the last 2 years. Didn't get traded. Brandon Cooks was supposed to get moved. Didn't get moved. Those are two guys that came to my mind because those are the two guys I had on my fantasy team, and I was really hoping for them to get moved. Ended up sucking because now Brandon Cooks isn't even playing tonight. So, it's lost a week. But one of the bigger trades for me that kind of came out of nowhere was Chase Claypool to the Bears. Now, Chase Claypool was in talks. He was in discussions. The Steelers were shipping him, or is that how people say it? Shopping him. The Steelers were shopping him because they have George Pickens in the house now, and they feel like George Pickens deserves a bigger role, and they can't justify giving that role to him without Chase Claypool being gone. So they were trying to get Chase Claypool up out of there.
That's the stupidest logic I've ever heard.
That's how they felt.
That's stupid. We have too many good receivers, so we got to open up spots for another one.
They played Deontay on the outside instead of the slot, so I guess they felt like Chase Claypool and George Pickens they have three outside guys, so like there's nothing. One of them had to go. I like Chase Claypool, Mapletron. I think Chase Claypool is pretty decent. Like I don't think he's amazing. Like I don't think he's a 1A receiver on the team, but I think he could be a number 2 receiver on a playoff team.
Is he the 1A to Mooney?
I don't think he is this year because I think Justin Fields and Mooney have like built up chemistry over the past year and a half. But talent wise, I don't know. He's got size that you don't really find. He's like 6'4", 230, 50-50 ball monster. Like that's type of stuff you don't come around too often.
Well, that's the type of thing you need for a quarterback who struggles with accuracy. He's a guy who's got like just a ginormous catch radius and can produce and Fields doesn't have to be right on the money. As turned to Mooney, who's a great route runner, can really play outside or in the slot, where he's so small that you need balls to be around him at least. And Claypool, you throw that thing in, throw it up. Yeah. He got a shot. The thing that with Claypool, I think that we haven't got to see what he could be because he played with dead arm Ben. And he's definitely more of a deep threat. Yeah, he's definitely more of a deep threat with his size and his speed and the way he moves. So to see him in a place where at least they have somebody who has a lively arm, I think Chase could be a really good number 2, and I think he could be a Pro Bowl talent.
Oh, I mean, I don't think that's too far off.
You give me 1,200 yards and 10 tutties.
Yeah, I think Chase Claypool could definitely give you at least 1,010. You feel me?
Right.
12, but 1,010, I think, is more than doable for him. And the thing that people were having issues with this trade was the fact that the Bears gave up their second round pick to get Chase Claypool, right? And so the Bears are 3-5. Their second round pick is projected to be somewhere in like the top 40. Like our early second they gave up to get Chase Claypool. Now, they also have the Ravens second round pick, which is obviously probably going to be in the back end of the second round. But they clearly wanted Chase Claypool. Like it was a bidding war. The Packers were trying to get Chase Claypool, and Aaron Rodgers said on the Pat McAfee show, like, I thought that I was going to come on this and tell you guys that we traded for Chase Claypool because the Packers were giving their second. So for the Steelers to take the Bears trade, they had to give the Bears second. So I guess they felt like, listen, Chase Claypool, we ain't gonna find nobody better at pick 40 in the 2022 NFL draft than we are Chase Claypool. And so I don't necessarily hate it. Like, I don't think that. So like I was looking at receiver, like the consensus on like receivers in this year's draft, and it's not that crazy. Like it's pretty top loaded. So like, and Chase Claypool's he's not old by any means. Like Chase Claypool's like 24 years old. He's still got multiple years in the league to go. Like, and he's already an established talent. Like, you know what you're getting out of Chase Claypool. You could draft someone at 40 and they could end up being horrible, So like,
they could be John Ross.
They could be John Ross, exactly. And the Bears still have another second in the back end. And I feel like they hadn't really done much to show Justin Fields like, hey, we're going to really give you a chance to succeed. You feel me? Like the O-line, they did nothing to address that. They did nothing to address receiver, even though they drafted Velus Jones in the second round last year, and he's done absolutely nothing. So like now to show that Justin Fields like, listen, we're getting you a weapon. We gave up a second round pick to give you a guy that is of no prototype that you have on your team currently. Yeah. So show us what you got in these last 8 games.
And then we traded the best football player on our roster.
They traded 2 of them, Robert Quinn, Roquan Smith, both of them. They gave Robert Quinn to the Eagles for a 4th, which is whatever. And then they gave Roquan Smith to the Ravens for a linebacker, a 2nd, and a 5th.
Which is an AJ Klein.
Yeah, AJ Klein. So I feel like for the Ravens, it obviously makes sense. They get Roquan Smith, who was the best. He's been an all-pro linebacker the past 2 seasons. And Patrick Queen hasn't really taken the steps that you would like to see him take as a linebacker. So like and when you look at the rest of their roster, like obviously they're weak at receiver, especially today, Rashad Bateman out for the season. So their number 1 wide receiver is like Devin Duvernay, Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. That's brutal.
They're weak at receiver, but outside of that, like they're pretty good at every other position. They have anyone could play running back for them. Obviously, they have J.K. Dobbins out right now, but Kenyon Drake comes in, looks like a star. They have Gus Edwards. They have Justice Hill. Like they're good, like they're good at that position. They don't need to address it via trade. Obviously, quarterback shirt up, tight end shirt up between Mark Andrews and Likely. Cornerback, but like what cornerbacks are you trading for? Like what good cornerbacks were on the market? None. So like, safety,
Richard Sherman's out there.
Yeah, you go sign him off the Amazon Prime desk. And so, like, linebacker is really the only position of need that they could address. And to give up a 2nd and a 5th, I don't think that's that bad. Like, Roquan Smith is only 26 years old. Like, he's still got a lot of time left in the league, and he's one of, if not the best linebackers in the NFL. So, like,
well, he's no Fred Warner, but he's
no. Fred
but listen,
in
here's my thing. So that's 2 things. It obviously means that the Ravens think that they can go ahead and win a Super Bowl. Because if you make this move now for a guy who's at the end of his deal and you have to pay him, and to pay him, they have to pay him $20 million.
They're also going to have to pay Lamar 46.
That's what I'm saying. So like you're committing a lot of your cap to those 2 guys. And this is my only problem. Roquan is great at what he does. Like you said, he's an all-pro linebacker. It's not like you just find all pros, and he's young. He's probably worth the money to an extent, but at the end of the day, he's not a great pass rusher. And the NFL, that's kind of what rules right now. Teams who can create pressure are teams that are usually really good on that side of the ball. Roquan is more of an outside linebacker who's really good in coverage and good in run support. I mean, he's got like 16 and a half sacks, I think, for his career. Just not something he excels at that I feel like they needed. And I feel like you can find coverage linebackers cheaper than what they paid for Roquan. That's on top of the $20 million they're going to pay to keep him. I think they could have found somebody who could do that job to an extent, not as well as Roquan, obviously, but to a place where it suffices. Maybe it's not Patrick Queen because he's can't tackle, but
can't do much.
Yeah. So I think I would have loved them to go get somebody who could really create pressure. And maybe that's a part of Roquan's game that the Bears never showed us. Maybe he just wasn't put in those scenarios.
And so I want to ask you, right? Like, this is obviously a win now move. Like, we're trying to get the Super Bowl now. Is our eyes are set on nothing but the Lombardi. Fuck all that other stuff. So, does this move make the Ravens? They're 5-3 right now. Just beat the Bucks. Big win for them. Obviously, barely beat the Browns. Lost to the Giants. Beat the Bengals. Lost to the Bills. So, like, does this move make them better than the Chiefs?
No, God, no.
Does it make them better than the Chargers?
Yeah, I think they're already better than the Chargers.
Does it make them better than the Dolphins?
No.
Ooh, I think that's a hot take.
I think that the Dolphins, when they have two, are
they're undefeated.
I said on the last pod. I said on the last pod that we did that didn't get put out. I think the Dolphins are contenders.
They're undefeated with Tua playing, which is crazy.
I mean, that's crazy to say, but like if Tua is an upgrade to Teddy or whoever else they threw out there, I think that I would easily take the Dolphins almost because of offensive weapons.
So to you, so them trading for Roquan Smith basically moved no needle for you in the AFC.
Not for me.
Okay, that's fair.
Did it for you?
It didn't for me either. I think I toy between them and the Dolphins. I don't think they're better than the Bills. I don't think they're better than the Chiefs. I think those are the two top like I think the Bills and the Chiefs are on a tier of their own, and then it's kind of like that Dolphins, Ravens, Bengals maybe, but after that showing against the Browns, I do not like that. And with Jamar Chase, we don't know how much time he's gonna miss. The Chargers, they do not do it for me. The Broncos, no sir. The Jets,
but the Chargers should do it for us, bro. That's the thing. On paper, that should be the best team in football, and they're just not.
And they're just not, bro. We beat them. The Seahawks beat them. The Jags beat them 38-10. like
we can't blame that on no Keenan Allen, bro. Like I get it, that's a tough loss to have, but God, you've got to be better than that.
You got to be. And so I'm just not. I don't believe in the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is super nice, but I just don't believe in the Chargers. They've shown me nothing to make me think like they play great stretches of football, but for the vast majority of the season, they've looked mid. Like the definition of mid.
After week one, because that was Chiefs, week one.
Yeah.
And they went blow for blow with them. And I was like, all right, like this is what you want to see. Maybe they don't ultimately come out on top, but that's what you want to see from them. And then it's just nothing about them is consistent football. It's just like watching the Bengals play, even though the Bengals aren't near as talented on paper.
They're so infuriating because like I didn't think that they would. That Super Bowl run was fluky for me.
Absolutely.
Like they just got hot at the right time. Like I don't think the Bengals were the best team in the AFC by any means last year.
Right.
Like they ended up being, but I think the Bills are the best team in the AFC last year, or the Chiefs. I think the Bills or the Chiefs are the best teams in the AFC last year. And you know that Chiefs Bills game that went to the OT and everything, that was the AFC chip for me. You know, right. like whoever won that game should have went to the Super Bowl. But obviously that's not how it happened. And so like I think we're seeing a bit of a Super Bowl hangover. I think we're seeing a team that thinks that like had higher expectations for themselves than maybe they should have coming off a Super Bowl. But like I get it. After you come off a Super Bowl, you're supposed to think we could get right back. But like when you're realistic with yourself, I don't think this team is talented enough to get back, you know? And so, yeah, they lost Jamar Chase. They lost Chidobe Awuzie, and, you know, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are out there. But everyone talks about the Bengals receiver depth. But after, like, once one of them goes down, now they got Trent Taylor at wide receiver 3, and it's not looking too hot. So
might as well run Rondé Hollis Jefferson out there, bro, just to see. Like, I mean, good God. And so even last year, which we talked about, and I don't know if you and me talked about, we might have. I said it somewhere, either here on Twitter. I said the Bengals are more likely to miss the playoffs and make the Super Bowls again next year. And not that I don't think that team is good. I don't think Joe Burrow is good. I think they've got the right pieces. But it reminded me, that whole run reminded me of when OKC played Miami in the finals. It felt like they were just ahead of their time. Like they shouldn't have been there yet.
Yeah.
And then we saw the lapses in the years to come, like of what was the disconnect for that team. And I think they just got hot at the right time. And of course, maybe it can happen again. I'm not going to put it past them. Just with no Chidobe and then no Jamar, I just don't see how they can even find that rhythm to get to that spot.
Oh, the Rams are absolutely horrific. I was shocked that they didn't make it. I was shocked they didn't make a move, but I feel like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's kind of them just being like, all right, you know, we know what it is. We not putting in no pain this year. All right.
Did you see the McVay reports today?
Yeah, he was like, he's tied to their core 4. And once they're done, he's done. Yeah, which is like, okay. He's like he's one of the younger head coaches in the
like, fair enough, I guess, bro.
Like, yeah, I guess. Because it's Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and there was one more person that is that in that core.
Stafford.
Yeah, Matt Stafford. Yep. Cooper Kupp, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's about to retire this season.
Yeah, McVay was almost out the door this offseason.
So I don't know what they talking about there. I feel like if I'm sure they'll try and make a run next season, but you're gonna have to convince Aaron Donald to play another year. They're gonna be trash this year. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work, but the Rams could blow it up after this season. Who knows? Another big deal for a team that we're both pretty high on, the Bradley Chubb to Miami Dolphins trade.
Right.
Dolphins got Bradley Chubb in a fifth. They gave up Chase Edmonds, a 2023 first, which they got via the 49ers in the Trey Lance deal, and a 2024 fourth. Now, timeout. I tweeted something from FanDuel I know you saw the graphic. They went fucking viral. It has like 30K likes. Give me my raise, boy. From the Trey Lance trade, they got the Niners. The Dolphins had the third pick in the 2021 draft, traded it to the Niners for like the 12th pick and a 2022 pick and a 2023 first, 3 firsts, basically. The Niners ended up with Trey Lance. The Dolphins took the 12th pick, traded up to the 6th, took Jalen Waddle, traded that 2022 first for Tyreek Hill, and traded the 2023 first for Bradley Chubb. So they walked out of that deal, obviously. Now, when I tweeted it, people were like, well, this is misleading because they didn't just trade those picks straight. Well, duh. Of course, they packaged other picks with them, but the primary piece in those deals was the picks that they got from the 49ers. So they basically turned Trey Lance into the best receiving duo in the league right now and Bradley Chubb. So I think they came out on top there.
Not only the best receiving duo, the best receiver in the league right now.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek's been better than everybody.
I have a question. Would you take so this is kind of fantasy football related, like kind of dynasty fantasy football related, but also just like for future team building. Would you take Jalen Waddle or CeeDee Lamb?
Jalen Waddle.
Okay, good. Me too. That's a great question.
I'm so ridiculously high on Jalen Waddle, bro. I mean, I targeted him in our dynasty draft, and I just.
If you're looking at young wide receivers after Jay Jettis and Jamar Chase, is he third for you?
I'd have to really look at all the young wide receivers. I would assume so.
Like T. Higgins. You'd rather Jalen Waddle than T. Higgins.
Oh, yeah, I would prefer Jalen Waddle to T. Higgins.
I'm on Ra.
True. Yeah, I would prefer Waddle.
Okay, hold on. AJ Brown is the big one. AJ Brown is I feel like.
No, I prefer AJ, I think.
Okay, so you got Jay Jettis, Jamar, AJ, and then Jalen.
By the way, if he could ever get a quarterback, I would take Terry.
He was killing Jair Alexander.
Bro, Terry, I don't care what anybody says, and his numbers are down this year, and I understand that. Like, we talk about how DJ Moore produces without quarterbacks all the time, or he has in the past.
That's a good guy. He's a good receiver.
DJ Moore's unreal.
You almost had that game.
DJ Moore's unreal. I don't care what anybody says, he's unreal. And the same line, Terry McLaurin is unreal. He is absolutely 100% an elite NFL receiver. I do think he is the best or second best receiver from his class. I would slot DK at third right there. I apologize to you.
It's fine.
But I love Terry McLaurin. So I would probably just by pure talent take Terry to Jalen. I think Terry is much better aggressively having to catch the ball than Waddle is. But in space, Waddle is so unreal. That's more like pick your poison. So
would you take Terry to AJ?
Nah, AJ. Okay. If you asked me that a year ago, I would have said yes. But I think what Philly's doing with AJ and the games he explodes it just feels like nobody can touch him, bro. So he's so physically dominant.
You take Terry to CD?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
All right, I think CD's a 1. I think
CD's how I feel about that, man.
Right. No, I think CD's a low end 1, but I just think that Terry is a clear 1 on a team that he can finally get a quarterback, which may never happen for him apparently. But
we have the same top 3. I think that top 3 is easy for me, and then I probably slot Waddle, and then
Waddle over Terry for you, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I really like T. Higgins. I do. I love T. Higgins, but I would probably put Terry over T. Higgins just because he's proven that, you know, he's been the one on those teams for at least 2 years now, and T. Higgins has never really been a one outside of.
Would you take T to DJ?
DJ Moore. That's a great question.
DJ's elite, bro.
That's a
I'm
great
so
question.
happy he's a Panther, bro. If he
In
just ever gets
fantasy, I would take
right,
T.
right,
In real life, if I'm building a team and someone says to me, you have a mid quarterback, like you have I don't know who's a mid quarterback, I don't know, like Teddy Bridgewater is your quarterback.
right.
You get to choose between T. Higgins and DJ Moore. I would choose DJ Moore.
DJ Moore's already did that with Teddy Bridgewater.
because I feel like he's like he's less like you just need less to make him work, you know?
He's
like,
unreal, bro.
I feel like he's a better route runner. Obviously, T's better at like the 50-50 stuff, the downfield stuff, but I just feel like it's easier to get DJ Moore going,
Well, Panthers haven't been able to do it.
I mean, they did last 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, we did the last 2 weeks. Hello.
PJ Walker unlocked, my boy. And so, yeah, kind of just doubling back to the Bradley Chubb thing. They obviously get Bradley Chubb. I don't think that he's this like tier 1 pass rusher.
Tier 2,
but
though.
I think he's a good pass rusher. They just signed him to an extension. It's like 5 years, 100 and something million with like
27 million a year.
Yeah, he's making bread. And I think this is as a win now move for a team that feels like they can really win it all, especially in the AFC.
Here's the thing. Number one, that's great for the Broncos. I think to a point you have to get capital back, and they got they slid back in the first round with that, right? No. Yeah, they got back in the first round after trading every pick they had for Russell Wilson, who has just been
absolutely putrid.
Yeah, just abysmal. So I think that they have to make that deal to get back in the first round, draft talent that you don't have to pay right now to that extent, because Chubb did just get paid, and he's going to have to get paid one way or the other. And on the Dolphins side, it's also a win now move, similar to what the Ravens were doing. But I think it affects the Dolphins a little bit more just because he is a pass rusher. And if you look, Dolphins are 29th in pass rush in football, and they just don't blitz. Mm-hmm. They don't blitz because they don't have pass rushers. So they really do play like a soft shell coverage all the time and just say like, hey, you have to dice us up to beat us defensively.
And a lot of teams do.
A lot of the
Lions was putting up numbers on them.
Yeah, but then it's just like, okay, well, now can you keep up
with
a
shootout?
Waddle?
Yeah, exactly.
And at the end of the day, I think that they had to get somebody defensively. I think that there was another move out there for them to make somewhere, surely. But I mean, like the what's his name? It's leaving me, bro. Got traded to the Deion Jones, like guys like that. I think they could have
the linebacker.
Yeah, from the Falcons. I think there are guys like that they could have gotten as well, because I don't love their linebacker play all the time. But it's a win now move, and I think they needed to do it, and I think that the Broncos needed to do it. So if I was to grade that, both people get at least a B+ for me on that trade.
Yeah, I feel like they can go for it. I feel like they feel like they can win it. I think they also believe it's them, the Bills and the Chiefs, and then everyone else in the AFC. And I agree. In the NFC, I think it's a crapshoot. Like, I think that any team could, outside of the Eagles, like, I think that the 49ers are on the come up. The Cowboys can make some noise. The Giants look good. We look good. I know no one likes to talk about the Seahawks,
crazy,
but goddamn it, Geno Smith looks damn good.
Crazy.
The Vikings look good, even though I don't necessarily believe it. They look good.
Yeah.
The Packers, they don't look good. Aaron Rodgers does not look good.
They're terrible.
Yeah, AJ Dillon looks like he's regressed. They have no receivers. So yeah, I think the NFC could go either way. Right now it's the Eagles and then damn near every other team. But in the AFC, I think it's a top 3 and then a pretty massive drop off after that. Looking at another move, since we were talking about the Vikings, they went and acquired TJ Hawkinson, which was pretty shocking for me. Like in division, shipped him right on over there. He was one of their better passing game options, but I guess they feel like, listen, I don't think they're getting Jamison Williams back this year. And if they do, it'll be on the back end of the season. So I guess they figure
no need to, though, bro. Yeah, there's no need. Rush it back.
The same thing with DeAndre Swift. They said after Dan Campbell said, like, we gave him too many carries. Like, we rushed him. There's no reason for them to, like, you're not making no noise, let DeAndre Swift rest up. Get TJ Hawkinson up out of there.
Don't let DeAndre Swift rest up, because I just traded for him in fantasy.
That's tough. The Lions got a second and a third for the 2023 second and a 2024 third, which I feel like is good for a tight end. Tight end isn't a premium position. So to get a second and a third for TJ Hawkinson, I feel like is good. Great move for the Vikings as well, because I feel like they're trying to, like we just said, the NFC's wide open. So they feel like we're 6-1. We have one of the better offenses in the NFL. Why can't we go for it? Right. And with Irv Smith heading to injured reserve, he's out for like 10 to 12 weeks. TJ Hawkinson is one of the best 7 tight ends in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So like
which isn't saying a lot.
It's not, but you already have like a premier talent at wide receiver. You have Adam Thielen, who's one of the better wide receiver 2s. You have KJ Osborne, one of the better wide receiver 3s. You add TJ Hawkinson to that, and Dalvin Cook's one of the better running backs in a top 6-7 running back in the NFL. And I just feel like their offense has so many good players on it that they're going to put up points regardless. And then it's kind of like the Dolphins, like their defense isn't amazing, but it's not horrible. And like they're going to beat most teams on the offensive end most of the time.
So Darius Smith is carrying them on defense.
He definitely is. One of the weirder moves was the Calvin Ridley trade. So Calvin Ridley obviously suspended for gambling, whatever. The Jags went and acquired Calvin Ridley. They gave up a conditional 5th and a conditional 2nd. Now, Calvin Ridley turns 28 in December. He's had injury issues. And I don't know why the Jags wouldn't have just done this in the offseason rather than doing it now. Like nothing in his trade value is going to change between now and March. Like he's not the
most random thing ever, bro.
He's not going to play. I understand wanting to give Trevor Lawrence like an alpha kind of guy. They got Christian Kirk. I feel like they want their receiving core to be Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and rock out with that and give Trevor at least one top tier weapon. Like we know what Calvin Ridley is. He hasn't proven to be an alpha wide receiver 1, but he's a damn good wide receiver 2.
We thought he was going to be last year, bro.
We thought he was, and then things kind of went downhill. But yeah, one of the weirder trades. I like it for the Jags. I think like giving your quarterback some semblance of hope is good, and like proving that you believe in them, kind of like the Chase Claypool, Justin Fields thing. I just feel like they could have waited until April and made the same trade when they knew that Calvin Ridley was reinstated. Right. And then everything else was kind of just like the Dolphins also traded for Jeff Wilson. They gave up a 5th for Jeff Wilson, and I know a lot of people was like, why not trade for Kareem Hunt? Like when you can get Jeff Wilson for a 5th or Naeem Hines for a 6th, why would I give you a 4th for Kareem Hunt? I don't think the difference is that much.
No, it is.
I don't think it's that different, bro.
Kareem Hunt as a team's RB1 is, I think, one of the 10 best running backs in football.
I don't think he's that big of a difference. Like if I can give you a 6 for Naeem Hines, if I'm the Bills, because I know the Bills are talking about getting Kareem Hunt. Like, would I rather give you a 4th Kareem Hunt or a 6 for Naeem Hines when we don't pass the ball when we don't run the ball anyway? I'd rather get Naeem Hines.
But they need to run the ball.
I don't know if they do.
They do. They're putting so much on Josh, bro. For him to have to sit there and take hit after hit after hit.
He'll be chalked in 5 years.
Okay, I'm not gonna sell that, but
he will.
It's just brutal. They have to get him a running back. For him to be your number 1 option running the ball is brutal. Brutal. Ask Cam Newton how it went for him.
They drafted James Cook. They got Devin Singletary.
I like James Cook.
I like James Cook too.
They have pass catching backs. Like Naeem Hines is just a pass catching back.
I guess, but like, are you really going to take the ball out of Josh Allen's hands when you have Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs out there? You want Josh Allen passing the ball more times than not.
You can still throw the ball 40 times a game.
That's what makes your offense prolific. And Devin Singletary is not horrible. Like he runs the ball pretty well.
No, he does not.
Yes, they do. Yes, he does. They got Zach Moss up out of there. Naeem Hines, another pass catching guy. Like, but that's how the league feels. No one gave the Browns a 4th for Kareem Hunt because he's 27 and he's going to be a free agent. And
I can't wait for him to be on a different team next year because I traded for him in our dynasty league.
I have him in my dynasty league. I wanted him to get moved. He just didn't because I guess the rest of the league felt how I feel, and that if we could give up a 6 and get someone that may not be of the same talent but can still make the chains move in a different way, I'm doing it. And yeah, that was really all the contenders, all the like big moves.
Oh, CMC, bro.
Oh, I felt the CMC trade happened before the deadline, so I didn't know if we want to talk about it. But yeah, let's talk about it. That's your team. That's your guys.
That's exactly how we got to talk about it.
You guys turned down 2 firsts for Brian Burns, which you got CMC.
Okay, listen, this is my problem. I love Brian Burns. and I've sat here and talked about
he turned down two firsts from the Rams, who are bad.
So I've talked about pass rushers since we got here. If you get offered 2 firsts for a pass rusher, you take it. And I think Brian Burns is really good, but what are the chances of him ever being like a legit, like all pro top 5 pass
People
rusher?
give up 2 firsts for quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying. So like, why are we? You? So if that report is true, I'm so mad, bro. Because if by some chance of the imagination a quarterback was to come on the market, they're like as unhappy, request to trade, you have 2 firsts and your pick or whatever, and you want to throw at that instead of taking another shot at another rookie, then you could do it. But now we're just sitting here with Brian Burns, and for some reason we won a game that we shouldn't have won. And like it's like our guys are like not in the tank mentality that we should be in. But maybe you know what? Maybe Matt Corral's it, and I just don't know it.
Oh, brother, yeah, you need CJ Stroud, you need Bryce Young, you need a quarterback.
CJ Stroud. I don't want Bryce Young.
Oh, you don't like? That's a hot take.
I don't want Bryce Young.
I feel the same way that there's not that big of a gap between them, but everybody swears that Bryce Young is just 10 times better than CJ Stroud, and I just don't see it. Granted, CJ Stroud does beat up on a lot of shit college teams, but like he's still nice. Like he's still mobile. Nice, he makes every pass that needs to be made.
Just Ohio State quarterbacks don't have a good rep.
I know.
So, but Fields could be the change.
Hey, I was about to say, don't talk about. I love me some Justin Fields.
No, we both love Justin Fields. I swore that he was the best quarterback in that class, and I still think he has a chance to be. I think he still has a chance to be. Seriously, even though Trevor looks really good sometimes.
Some emphasis on the sometimes.
Yeah, that's all of them though. They all look like
except
shit.
Zach Wilson. He looks bad most of the time. Talk to me about Christian McCaffrey. Well, as a Panthers fan, were you okay with letting him walk? Trading him?
Yeah, I've been okay with trading CMC. When the Deshaun Watson talks kind of started heating up, I thought that CMC would have played a part in that trade. If it ever had happened, and I was okay with it at the time. Now I don't want Deshaun Watson because more details have come out, so obviously I'm not interested in him being my team's quarterback. But I mean, honestly, they paid a premium to get him for the Niners, and for the Niners, that's an obvious win now move. Like we like our roster, Jimmy G. We've seen he can at least get us there. For us, we needed assets anyways. RB is one of the more disposable positions in football. Is like what I would say is you can usually find somebody like Deontay Foreman who can just tote Derrick Henry. Thing. Yeah, he can just tote it, bro. And he did it last year. I love having more assets. I think the more draft picks you can get, especially in the NFL, where there's so many positions that a lot of good talent does fall to the second round and a lot of good talent does fall to the third round. And I think we'll still have a top 10 pick, hopefully a top 7, 5, 4. And if we can use one of those to, again, package and move up to a team who's just got a young quarterback, or if Kyler Murray decides he wants to get traded, I'll take it, bro.
People hate Kyler. I do not know why he gets so much hate. The Call of Duty thing, the whatever. He gets so much hate. Like he's not bad. He's one of the 7 best quarterbacks in the NFL. 8 best quarterbacks in the NFL.
I don't know about that right now, but yeah, typically I would.
I'm talking about like ceiling. I think he's one of the 8 best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Would you rather have Hurts or Kyler?
I'd rather have Hurts.
But
ask me that 2 months ago, and
I would have said I would have said Kyler. I heard. I would love to. One day we're just going to rant about Jalen Hurts because I'm a huge Jalen Hurts guy, and to see him be what he is just.
Yeah, I'm pissed that I traded him to you for Deshaun. Well,
yes,
maybe when he comes back, we'll be good. But regardless, the Christian McCaffrey trade, I like it for both teams. Obviously, if there's any offense to throw Christian McCaffrey in and know how to use him, Kyle Shanahan, my boy, just got the triple crown without Debo. Got a pass a touchdown, receive a touchdown, rush a touchdown. First player to do it since LT in 2005. I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson in 2005. People think I mean Lawrence Taylor, but no, LaDainian Tomlinson. Christian McCaffrey looks amazing for the Niners. Takes that offensive ceiling to an entirely new level. When him, Debo, Ayuk are out on the field, is crazy. And Jimmy G is a check down extraordinaire. So, we need as many big play opportunities as we can get.
And CMC he's not creating
many. Yes, exactly. That's kind of our little trade deadline recap. Now, before we get into like NBA stuff, the 2 things I wanted to have you rank right now are it's crazy that we actually ended up talking about it anyway. I want to have you rank the 2020 quarterback class and the 2021 quarterback class. Now, the 2020 quarterback class is really only 4 of them. It's Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Hurts. It's a tough rank. I posted it on FanDuel, and I was like, this is tough. For me, there's a clear 1, and then 2, 3, and 4 get very hazy. For 2021, it's Trevor, Zach, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and Davis Mills. So there's 6.
Okay, so am I ranking them all collectively or just 2020 and then 2021?
We're splitting them up. I'm not gonna violate you like that.
Okay.
Even though it would be perfect because there's 10, but I'm gonna split it up.
Yeah.
All
okay.
Right, so
is this forever? Like for my team moving forward or this year?
Well, let's say moving forward because Trey Lance is obviously cheating. So let's say team moving forward, like over the next 5 years.
Okay.
You're ranking for the 2020 class.
Okay. Herbert 1.
Oh, that's not my 1. So I guess
Herbert 1.
Okay.
Herbert 1. Burrow 2.
That's
Hurts,
my 1.
Hurts 3. 2 of 4.
Okay.
And the reason is because I just think Herbert's better.
Okay.
Herbert's arm talent is so elite.
For me, it goes Burrow, Herbert. And then I really struggle with Tua and Jalen Hurts.
How do you struggle with that?
Because Tua looks fucking good.
He doesn't look that good. Does he look Jalen Hurts good to you?
I mean, they're playing shitters. They have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL.
Jalen Hurts got one of the best deep balls in football with his arm that people said he didn't have.
Tua is so accurate, especially on downfield stuff. Sure, he underthrows a couple things, but like every Patrick Mahomes throw to Tyreek Hill was not fucking a bomb. He got underthrown sometimes too. But like, listen.
Yeah, except Pat was throwing at 65 yards to get an underthrow.
Bro, I feel like coming into the season, everybody was like, oh my God, Tyreek Hill's gonna be trash because Tua can't sustain 2 wide receivers. And now they have the most receiving yards in the league, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, Tua's only good because he has Tyreek Hill." I'm like, "What? You can't switch it up because you were just saying that he's gonna be bad because he has Tua, but now everything's working out fine." So I feel like we gotta keep the same energy. We gotta keep the same energy. So,
okay, I didn't say he'd be bad. I just said he was on the fringe of my top 10 fantasy receivers.
And so for me, I really am torn because I love Jalen Hurts.
You being torn is sad.
I love what he does in the run game.
I'm so upset with you, bro.
I really want to say Tua. I really want to say
Hurts is a better thrower than Tua. And Hurts is a better runner. The development that Hurts
runner. Hurts a better.
Let me tell you something, bro. Hurts has done nothing but get wildly better every year.
Bro,
and the steps he's taking as a passer, he's making his reads. He can stay in the pocket. He throws a beautiful deep ball, one of the best deep balls in football.
It's tough for me because it comes down to obviously Hurts is the better runner.
Hurts about to win an MVP. So
Josh Allen's winning MVP. Is Tua that much better a passer than Jalen Hurts is a rusher?
I don't think that's the end all. I don't think that's the conversation that decides it.
But that's what decides it for me because it's so close. So I
think Hurts is a better passer. So
yeah, and you're fucking batshit. So I'm gonna say that he isn't that much. Like obviously, Jalen Hurts is a top 3 rushing quarterback in the NFL. So like, I would say, yeah, I guess him, Kyler, Lamar, and switch Josh Allen, like all 4 of them. So I would say Hurts Tua, but I'm not fucking locked in. And Joe Burrow's one for me.
Can you tell me why Burrow over Herbert?
I just feel like he's the more accurate quarterback. I feel like obviously, I don't think he's as much of a gunslinger, but I just feel like he's the overall more well-rounded quarterback. Like makes less mistakes, just looks more polished than Justin Herbert. I think at this point,
yeah, but if you have 5 years,
Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl and Justin Herbert can barely beat the Broncos.
That can't be your rule, bro.
What are we talking about?
Jimmy G's been to a Super Bowl and like that's just.
But the talent level between Jimmy G and Joe Burrow or Jimmy G and Justin Herbert is not the same, not comparable.
Jimmy G been to a Super Bowl, Josh Allen hadn't. So
but Jimmy, I think that Joe Burrow's just a more polished quarterback. Like I trust him with the ball more. if we're in a late game situation, 2 minutes on the clock.
He's a gamer. Yeah.
I'd rather have Joe Burrow out there. And so I would trust him with my franchise more than I would trust Justin Herbert.
See, I wouldn't. I think one Herbert's arm talent is elite. It's right up there with Josh and Mahomes. That's unsaid. He's the better athlete.
I mean, yeah,
he's the better athlete.
He's not. That's not moving no chains regardless.
No, he could.
But like that's not the right. difference in winning or losing is him rushing for 5 more yards.
That's fine. If that's what you feel, that's fine. No, I don't want to be disrespectful to Burrow because this makes me feel like I have to bash Burrow, and there's nothing to bash about Joe.
I didn't bash Joe or Justin Herbert.
He's a gamer. He extends plays all the time because he has to all the time.
You talking about Herbert?
Yeah, no, Burrow, and he's been to a Super Bowl. We'll give him some credit for that. I mean, he beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game.
He did.
So, I mean, I've got to give some credit to that. I just think that in the long run, the talent that Herbert has is so undeniable. And to me, I think Herbert, their offense is just bad. Like it's just bad. And I don't think that's him. I think they need a new coach. I think they'll get a new coach.
Brandon Staley sucks.
Yeah. Sooner than later, they'll get a new coach. But the throws that he's able to make
Zach Taylor also kind of sucks too.
Right. but from the left hash to be able to throw outs, 30 yards downfield, but also 30 yards across the field. Like just the arm talent he has is something that Burrow doesn't. He can make throws that Burrow can't. He can find windows that Burrow can't. And I think I would prefer that. And me thinking that I can refine his sometimes questionable decision-making and sometimes his too much trust in his arm. I think I would like our chances of refining that and that being my quarterback, a la Josh Allen, who was bad for 2 years.
Very bad.
It was just bad. And Herbert is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I think you would put him in your top 5 quarterbacks right now. Coming into the season, you would say he's a top 5 quarterback.
Maybe.
And they've just been a shit show over there, but that's not his fault. Mm-hmm. No Keenan has absolutely killed him.
Mike Williams went down too, so this wide one is Josh
Palmer. So like, if he had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, maybe it looks like
you
know what I'm saying. No, you know what I'm saying. I think Burrow's got 2 receivers better than Keenan Allen.
Is T. Higgins better than Keenan Allen?
Probably at this point.
I don't know if we would have said that coming into the season.
I think I would have.
I think like we were talking about fantasy and shit, but like wide receiver rank, like just pure skill. I don't know if
yeah, probably Keenan. Yeah,
I think Keenan's better than T. But regardless, he hasn't played. He's played 2 games, so whatever.
Right.
I think that'll be a quarterback battle that we will be watching for the next 10 years. I'm glad that they're both in the AFC. I wish they were in the same division, but we got Lamar and Joe Burrow in the same division and Deshaun Watson. So, that's going to be a banger of a division too.
We got Mahomes and Herbert. Let's go. Come on.
That's true. Hey, and Russell Wilson. Yeah.
And Derek Carr.
Yeah, exactly. And now the 2021 class is an absolute shit show. So please give me your ranking because I have Justin Fields 1. And then after that, I could honestly throw a rock in the. I think Justin Fields 1, Davis Mills 6, and you can rearrange everyone after that for me.
Okay. So Justin Fields, I said, was the best quarterback coming out of that class. I didn't see what they saw with Trevor per se.
Generational quarterback, generational can't miss prospect.
I watched Justin Fields with ribs broken, just absolutely obliterate him in a national championship game. Not a national championship game, but in a game to get to the national championship. But I will say that there are times where you watch Trevor play and it looks really special. Throwing the ball looks really special. And I think that we've yet to see special from Fields, the thrower. Mm-hmm. I think they're starting to incorporate Fields, the runner, finally, because that's what he's elite at.
It's crazy that it took a season and a half or half a season because they got a new coach and a new GM. So half a season to be like, you know what?
I bet you can run pretty good.
I bet you can run the ball. Like, duh.
They're finally rolling him out of the pocket and letting him do some things that I think he's good at.
Which is where he's special outside the pocket.
Yeah, when he needs to create something, that's when you look at his upside. But Trevor's a good athlete, and Trevor can get out of the pocket, and Trevor can move. And I think in the long haul, I would probably side Justin, but it's like by the hair of my chin, bro. And I favor guys who can run the ball. So, and I just Justin being able to, he's an elite runner. If he is, he's shown it already. Like, you give me 2 weeks of running the ball and I look like I'm pretty good. Yeah, because you are. Exactly. And you can watch them. Their plays where they're 3rd and 25, and Justin's drop back to pass, but he's able to create something because he's
mobile quarterbacks are just so valuable. And Trevor Lawrence is not immobile by any means.
No, not at all.
But like, mobile quarterbacks are so valuable because they turn a 5-yard loss because of a sack into a 3-yard gain. Exactly. And like, that can be the difference in winning and losing a game. Like, if it's like that you go from 3 and out to you get a first down and you keep moving the chains. You feel me? Like, and that's why I love mobile quarterbacks so much. And that's why they're so valuable to me, just because they can have such a big impact on the game.
The difference between Justin and some of the mobile quarterbacks we see is that he really does have a cannon, bro. Like, he can really throw it. His accuracy is just questionable,
which is crazy because that was the thing. Like, his thing was his accuracy coming out of Ohio State. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's a dead-eye passer," and then he
shows flashes though in college. But this talent level is so different, bro, that I can't. I would go Justin, then I would go Trevor pretty easily. I think I would go Zach. I think Zach has.
Did you watch that game?
Yeah, no. But I think Zach, first of all, he's been hurt. He's just not getting in the swing of the offense. Give him a chance, bro. Give Zach, because he can really throw it. Like, he can really throw it.
I was high on Zach Wilson before this season. And I just, after that last game, I was like, bro, what are we doing? Like, you can't even throw the ball away right.
Yeah, no, that was sad. Me and Khalil I think we was on FaceTime when we were watching it, and I was like, wait, did he try to throw that away? And he was like, I don't know. But obviously, first of all, every quarterback here looks like shit 38% of the time, exactly. No, 45% of the time. So it's hard to rank them. I would probably go Zach 3.
Okay.
And then
we're in the same, we have the same rank so far. And then Lance.
No, see. I would probably, yeah. We haven't seen Lance. I have no idea.
But like, he's another Russian guy, so I would take him over Mac Jones.
But he has the short span we've seen him is he has no clubs in his bag but the driver. Either I'm gonna throw it as hard as I can.
I like your analogies.
Yes, either I'm gonna throw it as hard as I can and as far as I can, or we're just not gonna catch it. Oh, you're 5 yards away. Watch this, and it's just like, bro, like, chill. It's a screen. So it's a slip screen at that, and he's just throwing bullets at people's heads. And I think he lacks that natural touch that some of these quarterbacks can give you. But I think Mac Jones is just bad. I think he stinks.
He's getting his job taken by Bailey Zappi.
He just doesn't have the arm. He doesn't have the arm talent to be an elite NFL quarterback.
Hey, but he's a Pro Bowler.
Anyway,
crazy, right?
Yeah, so he just doesn't have that. He got systemed into a good. They won games without him throwing the ball.
They beat the Bills
without him throwing the ball.
Yeah.
So blasphemous. That's just crazy. So I think he's bad. I would take Davis Mills before I would take Mac Jones.
That's crazy.
That could be hot, but Davis just showed some flashes, bro.
You about to see him play the Eagles?
That's gonna be brutal. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's tonight.
Yeah, without Brandon Cooks or Nico Collins. So
okay, that's not fair. No, that's not fair.
Good luck.
They're gonna get drubbed.
Yeah. So starters might not even play in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so I would go Zach 3, Trey 4, Mac 5, and Davis 6.
We have the exact same ranks, so nothing for us to argue about here. So that's going to take us on to the NBA stuff. And for I want to start with the Los Angeles Lakers because that
2 wins, baby.
That 2 fucking wins. Damn right. 2 good wins. Well, no, that Pelicans win wasn't good, but whatever. We're going to talk about it. Now we are 2-5. 2-5. What? Just overall, because we haven't really talked about the Lakers, the two of us, really since the preseason.
That's true.
So how are you feeling about our 7 games record of 2-5?
Probably the most indifferent I've ever felt. about a Laker team in my life. Like even when like it was like the young guys and we stunk, like at least I could be like, no, they're young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hold on 1 second. My headset just lost me, and I think I lost my mic.
No, I still hear you on the mic.
Okay, all right, headset's back. All right, so yeah, probably the most indifferent I've ever felt about a Laker team. I'm just so tired of Anthony Davis, and
you're tired of AD.
Well, we're 2 years in now of me telling you that I think we should trade him.
Yeah.
And not because he's not impactful and I think he's been the best defender in basketball.
I was about to say, I think he's DPOY right now.
Yeah. That's great. I need somebody who can play offense, and he cannot shoot. And I don't care what we saw in the first game or the preseason when he hit a couple threes.
It really sucks because that gives so much credence to people saying that the bubble chip is not real, because he really can't shoot. Like that was such an outlier that what do you say if someone says to you, yeah, you guys only won the chip because like there was a bubble and Anthony Davis was having a career year?
I'll say everybody else is playing under the same circumstance.
That's true, but I just hate that he can't. Like, why can't you shoot?
Like, he can't shoot. Not only can he not shoot, he's just not quick anymore. So he's literally like a lanky big, and which I think is why he tried to put on muscle last year.
He lost a lot of bounce too.
No, he doesn't get above
bounce, the rim. Like,
so I think that the athlete AD is deteriorated. I don't even
know.
He's
only 29.
Yeah, I don't know what his trade value. I think if you had told somebody, hey, who's gonna be the best player 5 years ago, if you said who's gonna be the best player in the NBA in 5 years, there were a handful of people who would have said Anthony Davis.
A lot of people had him penciled in for like at least one MVP. He's never getting an MVP in his career.
No,
I'm confident saying that.
I don't want to call his career disappointing, but his Laker tenure.
No, but I'm saying like he's never getting an MVP.
No, his Laker tenure beyond the championship has been disappointing.
LeBron's has too. LeBron's outside.
At least LeBron plays. At least LeBron plays. And at least LeBron played last year, gave me 30 a game. Like,
almost won the scoring title.
Crazy. Yeah. Winning, when you and I have talked about this endlessly, winning a championship is worth it. But to get back to this Laker team this year, we cannot shoot the ball. Lonnie Walker, I'm tired of listening to him talk every time he hits a three. My jump shot too pretty for them to not go in. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
We're playing 23% from three.
We're playing a guy who's on the brink of retirement from the Indianapolis Colts. He's shooting threes in the corner.
Saving our season. Not just
not our season. Saving one game.
No, bro, but we're relying on him. Like he's our shooter. Like
that's crazy.
Like he's our primary shooter. Like that's crazy.
And we didn't establish that until the last 2 games of the preseason.
Like, bro, what? He was on the Celtics summer league team. Like, so what was the plan? Like if had he not been on our team, what was the plan?
Scottie Pippen Jr. I just think there's a lot of things that obviously have to be addressed, and it's too late to address them. One, teams don't like to deal with the Lakers.
Yeah, we definitely have a Lakers tax. I think a lot of GMs don't like Rob Pelinka too. So, there's that.
They should hate Rob Pelinka. Teams don't want to deal with LeBron. And at the end of the day, they're just like, hey, you made your bed, you lay in it. And we did
Which
that.
I think is 2
years in a row.
I think you have to, there has to be consequences. And so that's what I've said. I don't think Rob Pelinka should have got extended. I think that was the craziest thing Jeannie has ever done. Like, to look at his, he started in, well, no, she does some wild shit, but he started in 2017. And so I was on another podcast, the draft season pod with fucking Sean and Raz. And they asked me, like, what would you give Rob Pelinka's like tenure as a GM as a grade? Like, what grade would you give it? And I said, like, I don't know, a C+, B-, because you got us the chip. So like the chip has to, if you don't get us a chip outside of the chip year, it's an F. Like once he's done with us, he will never be a GM again. No team, like if he was fired today, no team would be like, let me go pick up Rob Pelinka. Like no team would do that, which should say like, maybe he isn't a good GM. Because I know
I wish
damn
we
well,
had Daryl Morey, bro. He would already traded Anthony Davis.
like any good like if Jerry West got released or like Masai got released, like people would be like, all right, we need to go get them. No, Rob Pelinka will never be a GM when he's done with the Lakers, and so like I would give him a C+ because he got us to chip. But outside of that, you look at those seasons, we didn't make the playoffs. We got bounced by the Suns. We didn't make the playoffs again. We didn't make the playoffs again, and we won a chip. And so it's like, what have you done?
He drafted well.
He drafted well, but that's not even him. That's like
right.
like the Bus brothers and shit.
Right.
Joey Bus. Like,
at some point, we just got to get the Laker organization and our personnel decisions out of the Bus's hands and out of Rob Pelinka's hands.
He shouldn't have been extended at all. That's the.
No,
this is on him. This is on him. That he made the worst trade in the history of the franchise, trading for Russ. It's had a 2-year
history of the franchise.
What trade is worse than this? That has put, we have LeBron James and we've completely killed our championship hopes for 2 straight years because of this trade. Come on, bro.
Anthony Daniels playing.
Stop it.
I mean, that looks worse every day, though.
It does, but we got the chip.
Yeah, we got chips, so it doesn't matter.
I would trade Brandon Lonzo and all Josh Hart and Larry Nance all for a chip.
Yeah. That's definitely the worst trade in our team's history, but especially his tenure. That's brutal.
Yeah, like bro, you had a championship team and systematically broke it down piece by piece until you got what we have now. Like, oh, we're looking for a 3-and-D guy. You know who was that? Kyle Kuzma. We're looking for a shooter. You know who was that? KCP. Like, what do we do? Like I would have traded them for Buddy Hield. And even then I was like, do we really have to give up Kuz, KCP, and a pick for Buddy Hield? No.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But you're looking for pieces that we had and could have kept, but we chose to give away for Russell Westbrook, who, bro, me and you, who we're not NBA GMs, and we knew this is not a good fit. So I don't know what him and LeBron and AD were thinking, giving up crucial pieces to a team that, like, we keep Kyle Kuzma, we keep KCP. I think we're contenders. Like,
contenders? No,
I do.
The league's advanced too far. It's gone. The league's improved so much. We're also not
hampered. We're also not hampered by Russ's massive contract. Like KCP, Kyle Kuzma, and the pick that we gave up to get Russ are more tradable pieces than Russ is. So like we would have been able to make a better deal down the line, I feel like, if we would have just stood pat rather than trading for Russ.
It would have been better. Yeah. I think we would have been in a stickier situation to get a third guy. I think Russ leaving obviously opens up space for us to get a third guy. So that's nice, but we did waste 2 years.
Wasted 2 years. Like LeBron's in his 21st year. AD is 30 now. And what third? Like, bro, have you looked at the free agents for next year? It's nobody.
Kyrie's a locked in Laker. Locked in.
Yeah, he might be
100%. I'm serious. No, mark my words. No, but I think he's a locked in Laker regardless. And I seriously mean that. I'm usually not with those people. First of all, this is the delusionality of, I don't know if that's a word, of Laker fans.
Dude,
appreciate it. Of Laker fans is that they're so outrageously optimistic that other teams want the players we have. So we're going to package this and we'll get this. And then this guy's going to get released for absurd no reason and we'll get him.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan is going to sign. Like, people really thought Kyrie was going to sign the MLE to come play with us. Like, are you stupid?
That was just Kyrie, bro. Like, listen, well, DeMar was going to come.
He was going to, yeah.
Yeah, he already said it.
Which is crazy. But
taking less money. He said it.
Yeah.
And we picked Russell Westbrook.
Crazy. We could have had that was our third star. We could have had Kuzma and KCP and Kev and got DeRozan. Like,
it's just asinine thinking, bro. So when it comes to this team, I don't expect this to be anything. I really don't think we're even going to make the play in. I'm being dead serious.
I like what I've been seeing from us the last two games. I like the Russ off the bench. I only like it because I feel like it's raising his value because we don't look as desperate. Like, we're 0-7 right now, and no team is like, we're not trading with any, like, we're gonna have to give up both picks to every team because they know we have no way out. Like, by the trade deadline, if we're like a 6, 7, 8 seed, we've got some sort of leverage because it's like, hey, this is working. We're gonna make the playoffs. But if we're a fucking 12, 13 seed, there's no shot that anyone's going to be like, listen, you have no choice but to give us both these picks because it's either waste the season or give us the picks. You feel me? And like, I'm not even that locked in on the picks. Because like we pick in every year. Like we have a pick every year. We pick this year. We just swap with the Pels. And then next year, they either can choose to take our pick or take our next year pick. So we pick in one of those years. And then after that, we have our picks. We have all of our picks. So like what I would give you by 2027 and 2029, we'll have 2030 and 2032. Like it's like we'll have picks by then. You feel me? So it's like I'm not necessarily strung up on like we're gonna be bad those years, so we won't have those picks. But I don't want to give them up for players that aren't like Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I know people are like, yeah, we're those two pieces away from being a contender. I get that we have the second best defense in the league, but like Anthony Davis is a huge part in that. And I'm not trying to predict injury, but there's no way he played like Anthony Davis goes down and our defense goes from top 2 to bottom 5. So yeah, it's like, okay, fine. Let's say we keep the top 2 defense. We get Buddy Hield and we get Miles Turner. Buddy Hield alone is not taking us. We shoot 26.7% from 3. That's the worst mark in the league by almost 4%. Buddy Hield isn't taking us from 26.7 to the average team shoots 35.9. Buddy Hield isn't bringing us up 10 percentage points. I'm sorry. like that. He's not going to make us an average shooting team. He's going to give us a one knockdown shooter. And that's it.
AD's not shooting well. LeBron's not shooting well.
18% from 3.
Yeah, LeBron's not shooing great right now, but I'm
LeBron shoots 22.6.
But I know LeBron's going to end up getting me to 35%. That's just what he does at this point. So I'm not worried about that. He's consistently shown me that. Anthony Davis is not. If that trade somehow happens and we end up with Hield and Turner, I think you have to call Carmelo and ask him what he's doing and ask him if he wants to come back. Why would he want to go to that dysfunctional mess, bro? So I think you have to call Carmelo and ask him first of all, what was his price to where we were like, nah, we're just not even good. We're just gonna let you sit at home.
Gotta take them in.
Yeah. So but he should be on our roster right now. At least he can shoot a 3.
We just didn't sign him.
Yeah. Yeah, we went with Matt Ryan. God. So
or at least Melo has some gravity. Like right. you put him out there. People are not leaving him open. I'm sorry. He could be 38 years old, whatever. Teams are not leaving Melo open. You feel me?
No. So if we were to do that trade, there's other stuff that has to happen. I think best case scenario is that the Hornets are terrible and they want to keep tanking and need to get rid of good players. And we'll say, hey, we'll give
Terry Rozier.
We'll give you Russ and 2 firsts for Terry and Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
And
Terry, at that point, Terry, Kelly Oubre, and PJ Washington. And that's cool with me. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I'd rather have Gordon Hayward, but anyway.
So would I. But like, if that's the hang up, I'd be like, fuck it. Take it.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And I'll throw those 2 first. I would love to have them because I do think we'll be bad. But
I think we'll be bad too.
Yeah. But
like we could trade AD for a first in 2027. You got to think AD commands at least a first, right? Like,
what year is it? 2022? No, not a chance.
No, you're
not a chance.
Right.
He'll be 35.
I'm wrong. I'm thinking like after you said what year is it, I was like, fuck, I'm wrong.
Yeah,
no, this shit.
He ain't got a shot. He won't be on a roster. He'll be out of the league in 5 years.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing.
Yeah, that is. So I don't think that if we're going to trade AD, the time is now, or the time is that this offseason. I'm being dead serious.
Question. So so if the Suns offered you Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and a first for AD, would you take it?
I need another first, but yeah, after that, I'll take it.
Oh, you need 2 firsts for AD?
Yeah, he's still a superstar player.
That's true. And considering Rudy Gobert went for 6, I need 2 of that. Yeah.
I need 2 to 3 first, and then give me Mikal, who's a great young wing defender, and Cam Johnson, who can shoot it. And does that make us contenders this year? No. But if we traded for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, then it might, because at least we got a big. Exactly. No, not a contender. But you get it. Yeah, I think our best case is to target the Hornets at some point. So
do you think Russ is on the team past the trade deadline?
No, but I think he's an all-star break trade. I think he's here for the first half of the season. Unless this off the bench thing magically works and we somehow just look really good and keep winning games. But
do you think, because I'm assuming that whatever team Russ goes to, he gets bought out because he's an expiring. No one's gonna just incorporate him.
Play again.
Do you think he'll ever be on another team?
No.
So you think this is the end of Russell Westbrook's career?
Yeah.
And I've juggled with that, right? Like,
who wants Russ? What does he?
What value does he bring? Yeah, like what value does he bring to a contending team? None. I don't think he brings any value to. Like, I would rather have Cameron Payne than Russell Westbrook on my bench as my backup point guard.
Yeah,
I would.
And I could say maybe it looks better if Russ is around shooters instead of us.
But like, he's not willing to take on that role, Like, right. He's not. We won against the Pelicans, and he was pissed that he didn't close the game. Like, bro, what? We won.
Yeah, I'm not with Russ. I tried to be optimistic about it when the signing happened, thinking we would form a roster of shooters.
And I was against it from second one.
Yeah, but we didn't form a roster of shooters. We formed a roster of morons.
And your problem was trusting a moron to build a roster of shooters.
And then we did it again.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the definition of insanity, bro?
Exactly. Rob fucking Pelinka.
Yeah.
I despise him, man. Get him off our team. I have a question for you because I was thinking about it when Klay Thompson and Devin Booker were going at it. And Klay kept saying the 4 rings shit. Now, obviously, Klay Thompson has 4 rings. He's never been the best player on any of those teams.
Correct.
For 2 of them, he wasn't the second best player on those teams. Now,
was he ever the second best player on any of those teams? No, Draymond was.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so he's never been the first or second best player on any of his 4 championship teams. But he has 4 rings. If Devin Booker wins 1 chip and is the best player on that team, is that 1 ring more valuable than Klay's 4?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Even though Devin Booker was the engine that made the Suns run.
I hate that argument because I don't think that the Warriors win championships without Klay.
I don't think they do either, but that's what I was seeing on Twitter, and I was thinking about it, and we didn't record, so I needed.
That's an asinine take. No, I don't think that. There's no chance. No chance. They don't win championships without Klay.
I don't think they do either. Okay, good. We're on the same page.
Yeah. So. No, that 1 ring's not more valuable. That's like for me, like Kevin McHale was never better than Larry Bird, but he's a Hall of Famer. He's the reason they won a champion. It's the reason they won championships. You know what I'm saying? So like, I can't hold it against you that there are guys in your team better than you.
Yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You have one of the 2 best point guards of all time leading your team. So like,
and then you had the best scorer we've seen the last 10 years on the.
Yeah, and then you had the best defensive player in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
seriously. So I can't hold that against Klay. And 1 ring from Devin Booker as the best player, which 1 is never going to happen, but 2, that's just no, that doesn't matter to me.
You don't think D-Book ever gets a ring?
He's not a 1A. Player? He can never be a 1A.
Okay, I agragree. By the way,
there's a very small list of 1As. Paul George will never be a 1A. Like these guys who are really good.
We talked about
this with guys who are really good. They're not 1As. There's something I wanted to ask you because I've been super hot and heavy talking about Shai, and 1, how good I think he is, and how great I think he's always been. In the right scenario, I think there are a lot of guards that Shai is better than.
You're about to ask me, is Shai better than Ja?
No, I'm not asking you that because you're gonna say Ja and then leave it at that.
Okay.
If Shai was in the same scenarios as Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Zach LaVine, these guys who are playing on teams who can win, is there that big of a difference in what Shai is offering and what those guys are offering?
No.
Is Shai as good as Donovan Mitchell?
Donovan is really taking a step as a playmaker this year with DG being out.
Playing defense too.
Playing defense.
Shai's always played defense. Shai could always play make.
You're right. Is he as good as Donovan Mitchell? I think he's as good. I wouldn't go as far to say he's better than Donovan.
Is he the same tier talent as Donovan Mitchell?
Yes.
Same tier talent as Devin Booker? Mitchell's been better than Booker this year.
He has. But I think D-Book is the best shooting guard in the league. So I would say
I would take Donovan right now. And I hate Donovan. I've hated on Donovan Mitchell for 5 years.
I like right now, 7 games through, I would too, but like 7 games ago, like a week and a half ago, I would say Devin Booker. So
I think there was a time where people would have bunched Shai with like the heroes of the world.
I think he's cleared that. Like I think he clears Ant Edwards.
Far and away. Oh, he clears Ant Edwards to you?
Ant has not been good.
No, I agree. But who would you rather have going forward?
If you're asking me right now, and you know I'm high on Ant, but like
me too. I would take Shai.
I would say Shai. Yeah,
you can ask. Well, next time Khalil's on, we'll have this conversation again. Not in the same light because that's a repetitive podcast, but Khalil will confirm that I have been super high on Shai forever, and I've always thought Shai was a superstar, just not in the right Kentucky, situation. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So just was never in the right situation. He showed it on the Clippers that he was really good. As soon as he got to OKC, him and Chris Paul made a playoff run or got to the playoffs. I think Shai in the right situation is just as good, if not better, than some of these guys that we hold to a very high regard. And the conversation of him and Ja is real. Okay, I'm not gonna go that way. Is he better than DeJounte Murray?
Yes.
Is he even in the same realm as Trae Young?
I don't think so. Right now, 7 games deep. Ask me in 20 games.
It's not about the 7 games, just in general. What you think about his talent?
I don't think not right now. But I think
Trae is such a juggernaut.
I think he could change my mind like 20-25. Like if I see it for like right now, he could drop off a cliff. You feel me? But like if he sustains this level of play for half the season, I might move him up that tier, is what I'm saying.
No way he averages 31 for the whole season.
I mean, obviously, but like this level of play, I'm not saying numbers wise has to stay the same, but
I think he can be 25, 6 and 6,
which is an above. Like I think he's better than Zach LaVine.
That's so tough.
I think Shai is better than Zach LaVine.
Zach, there's just like all the talent there, all the touch, all the shooting ability, and something just doesn't click, bro. It's the weirdest thing. Is he better than Bradley Beal?
I think so.
It's just brutal. Is he better than Drew?
You know, I'm not really that high on Drew.
See, I love Drew.
So I would say yes.
But... Okay, better than CJ?
Yes.
Better than Jaylen Brown?
That's tough. I would probably say no, but I'm very I can be convinced.
So then you would say no to him being better than BI too, right? So you think BI is better than Jaylen Brown? I think BI is better than Jaylen Brown.
I think they're close, but I texted you before. I think BI is better than Jaylen Brown. I think BI.
He's such a better playmaker than Jaylen, but Jaylen's a better defender. So whatever you take, they score in such different ways that it's hard to equate that. I can't think of any other young guard. But he's better than Fox. Fox has been super good.
He's been so good, and the Kings are still shit. So like,
Fox is unlocked though. He's unlocked.
Yeah.
No, seriously, he's been elite. He's shooting 40% from 3 right now. 45% from 3.
I would still take Shai.
Okay. Any other young guards I'm missing that you can think? Is he better than DG? I'll answer that for you. Yes.
I really like Darius Garland.
Me too. I think this isn't a shot at any of those guys. This is how good Shai is.
Yeah. The one that shocked me that I was so willing to say was Ant Edwards, because we talked about this in length before. I love me some Ant Edwards.
Me too.
But I just think Shai looks fucking unreal right now.
I'm just trying to think of more young guards. He's not better than Kyrie yet.
No.
Is he better than Tyrese?
Yes.
That's interesting. I don't know. Is he better than? Would you rather have him or Cade?
That's Cade. Is he better?
Cade is so nice, bro.
Is he better than? Is Tyrese better than De'Aaron?
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no for right now too.
I think the best version of Fox is what we're seeing, like
now.
that.
Yeah.
And I don't. And what he is, Tyrese is a good defender too, and Tyrese is a great passer, and Tyrese can score. And it's just like I think those two are probably same tier of player right now.
Remember when I did Plant Your Flag, Paolo averages like 21, and we were all like, "Nah, no way, he's averaging like 21." It's crazy.
What I say, 18 or 19, probably.
Yeah. But I mean, this is like record breaking shit.
No, he's going insane.
Yeah.
Is Shai better than DeMar right now?
DeMar's been like MVP good. So I would probably say no.
Okay. I think that there's a talent. I think that there is a group that Shai has firmly inserted himself in that we have to consider. And I think he's done it. I think he's did it before this year. And he's just now getting his shine because he's actually losing his mind to start the season.
The Thunder
he's been uber
like
efficient.
Decent, like they're not horrible. So.
Right. But just like that Booker line, Shai will never be a 1A. And a lot of these guys will never be 1As.
No.
I don't think Trae Young could be a 1A. Because wings rule the NBA, bro.
So do you think any guard could be a 1A?
Steph's the only one. You shoot at that historically of a clip, and that.
Do we count Luka as a guard?
Nah. He's a wing. He just plays guard.
Yeah.
Luka's a 1A. Luka's 100%
that's what
a 1A.
I was saying, yeah.
If you were to list 1As, it's very small. That list is very, very small.
Giannis, obviously MVP. He's the MVP right now for me. There's
7-0
when he isn't fucking Giannis, Luka, Bron.
Is Bron still a 1A?
Well, if you put a good competent,
the right person. Yeah.
So
is KD 1A?
Yeah. Bron.
Has he ever been a 1A?
Bron. Oh, that's a good question. That's a great question. But he was the best player on that Warriors team. Bron, Luka, KD, Giannis, Jokic.
Jokic is a 1A.
I think he can be the best player on a championship team.
I think that team's got to be super well orchestrated.
I think he can be the best player.
This Nuggets team could win a championship.
I thought that I had them penciled for 60 games, and right now they're 4-3. So
right, I just don't think so.
Yeah. 5. That's 5 I just named. I'm trying to think. I think
Embiid's not.
Somebody. No.
Tatum, is he a 1A?
I want to say yes.
He looks like it right now, dude. He's been killing.
Yes.
I think Tatum's MVP right now, by the way.
I think Giannis.
I love it. You know I love it.
Yeah, I mean they're fucking undefeated. Like that's crazy.
With no Chris Middleton.
Yeah. So yeah, and Brook Lopez is DPOY. So that's 6 right there.
Kawhi, is he 1A?
No.
Can't be at this point. He was though. He was though.
Fucking play.
But he was though, right?
Yeah, he was. But everybody want to say AD is street clothes. Kawhi Leonard is fucking street clothes.
Yeah.
He does not play basketball.
Yeah.
So that's 6.
Harden's not a 1A.
No.
I think he was. I think Harden could have been the best player on the championship team. I think they should have beat Golden State that year. Chris Paul got hurt. I think that screwed it. And I think it would have been a series with Cleveland, although I ultimately probably would have picked Cleveland. But
Devin Booker's not a 1A.
No, not even close.
Trey, Ja, not 1As.
So guards, it's so hard for guards to be 1As, bro.
We got 6. That's 6. And you wasn't really sold on Jokic. So really 5.
Jokic is amazing. I just think it's so hard for your center, anybody who's not a wing to be a 1A.
Yeah.
Because like the way that they just create their own shot, like a wing.
Is Jimmy Butler a 1A?
God, no.
Okay.
God,
he's a wing. So
like, can he be the best player on a championship
think of
team?
Wings.
No, he couldn't be. Obviously.
Who's another good wing that we haven't said?
B.I. It's like the Paul George.
We both think B.I. None of them are 1As.
Jaylen Brown's not ever going to be a 1A. Like, it's so hard to be I'm the best player in the championship team, and I can be that all the time.
Consistently, yeah.
Yeah. That's a very small group.
Game plan for me being the best player and still smoke them. Yeah.
Exactly. LeBron.
Yeah, exactly.
LeBron is the ultimate definition of a 1A.
For sure. I think we're on the same page.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Shout out to Shai.
Yeah, shout out to Shai. Big Thunder 4-3. They're like an 8 seed right now. Biggest surprise. The Jazz are the biggest surprise this season for me. 6-3. Thought they was tanking for Wemby. And Lauri Markkanen just so happened to be fucking Larry Bird. So
they'll still tank. They'll still tank. It's not gonna hold.
Well, they're gonna bust our ass. They're gonna bust our ass tomorrow, and then we play them again on Monday. So
no, we win tomorrow.
We're 3-game streak. You think?
We win tomorrow.
Okay,
we win tomorrow.
All right,
write it down.
I like that.
Write it down. Book it.
I like that. So with that, I'm finna head on up out of here. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the Run It Up podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe to the pod on Apple Podcasts, download on Spotify, follow Justice on Twitter at JusticeReed2, me on Twitter at Najee Adams _ follow my son Khalil, even though he's not here, at Balil44. I think that's all the plugs. Follow the pod on Twitter at Run It Up Pod. And yeah, make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review. We appreciate them all. Make sure you have a litty day, a litty night, a litty life. And just like we do on every episode of this podcast, make sure y'all go run it up.